Good morning, everyone. We'd like to call the meeting of the Wayne County Commission to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
The board is now open for roll call.
Commissioner Clement, okay, there we go.
You have
Okay,
a
we got it.
quorum present.
It was me and you was kind of off. Okay. All right, thank you. Next item, please.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of
Please
America.
stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God. Next item, please.
Invocation.
Today, we will have our invocation by Vice Chair Pro Tem, Commissioner Sam Baydoun.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon all of you. Let us pray. All praise is for Allah, the Lord of all worlds, the sustainer, the giver. O Allah, we thank you and are grateful to you for the opportunity to commence this Wayne County Commission meeting. We ask you for your guidance and wisdom as we discuss and deliberate on matters that impact the lives of our constituents. Help us to make decisions that are fair, just, and in the best interest of community we serve. O Allah, we ask for your blessings on our collective efforts to improve the quality of life in Wayne County, to address the needs of our residents, and to create a stronger and more prosperous community. O Allah, we ask for your support and assistance as we navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Grant us the strength, knowledge, and compassion to fulfill our responsibilities effectively. O Allah, guide us in our pursuit of justice, equality, and unity. Help us to be leaders who inspire trust and confidence, who work collaboratively and with integrity, and who always strive for the betterment of our county and its people. O Allah, protect and bless the residents of Wayne County and grant them safety, prosperity, and well-being. Help us to be advocates for their needs and voices for their concerns. We ask for your mercy and blessings upon us all. May this meeting be productive, fruitful, and beneficial for the present and future of Wayne County. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that awesome and inspiring prayer. Thank you so much. Next item,
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
Move for approval. Support.
Moved and supported. Any corrections to the journal? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
Report from the chair.
I just want to take this opportunity to give our condolences to Commissioner Baker McCormick and the loss of her staff member, Dwayne Hines. Many of us have seen Dwayne working diligently for the commissioner for several years, so we want to keep you and his family in our prayers at this time. Thank you. Next item.
Unfinished business, there is none listed. We are moving to page 2 of the agenda. Offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. We're going to go to item number 2, an ordinance to amend chapter 207 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinances, the public nuisance ordinance to clarify and further define public nuisances involving racing on public streets.
Okay, the prosecutor requested a few amendments and changes and additions to this ordinance. So this is a vote for first reading. It'll be sent to public safety and then back to here. So their motion to move this for first reading and referral to committee. It's been moved by Commissioner Marecki, supported by Commissioner Baker McCormick. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
much. Next item.
Item number 1 is the Black History Month presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. We are thrilled to have our annual Black History presentation during this meeting. How appropriate that our meeting happens to fall on February 1st, which is the first day of Black History Month. I've asked Commissioner Clark Coleman to be the lead for a wonderful presentation that we are going to have. So at this time, I'd like to call up Commissioner Clark Coleman to lead us through our presentation for this morning. Thank you.
Abari Gandhi. It is indeed my pleasure to lead you into this wonderful program that we have prepared for you today. We have some wonderful people here that we've invited to do a host of things, and I'm sure that if you all have your programs, everybody got a program? No? No? Okay, then I'll go. If you don't have a program, then I'll go through it. All right, so the order of the program is after I introduce you, then we're going to have the Black National Anthem, and it's going to be performed by Marcus and Jonathan Adair. Marcus is the soloist, and Jonathan is on keyboard. Then after that, we're going to have an interpretation by Angela McKinney. And I'm not going to tell you who she is representing, but I'm sure that after she finishes, you can guess. And after that, we're going to have libations and a drum tribute by Roland Matthews. He's with the Barack Obama Leadership Academy. And then after that, then we'll have a song by Marcus and Jonathan Adair. And then we'll have a closing remarks. So with that, I'm going to start the program off with Marcus and Jonathan Adair. Okay, now we're going to have an interpretation by Angela McKinney.
Lord, me, Minty. Oh, done brought me a mighty long way. As I sit here at the home of the aged, safe and old, on property that I purchased from earnings from my very own toes. Oh, I'm reminded what a friend I have in you. Oh, even as little Araminta Ross, a little slave girl from Dorchester, Maryland, watching her friends and family being sold off, never to return, being beaten so bad. I suffer these head illness, these shakes, something horrible. Seizures, the doctors call them. Even then, Lord, even then, you loved on me something strong. Lord, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Wow. I was trying to get my friends and family free, going to and fro from the north to the south, getting anybody longing freedom. Oh, Lord, you made a good way, a good path with good people. Good people, freed Blacks, white abolitionists, all helping the conductor, oh, get our passengers free, like you did for Moses and his people. Oh, you made a way for us all, Lord. You made a way for us all. You got us all to the promised land. Oh, glory, hallelujah. 11 years as a conductor. 11 years as a conductor, God. Oh, and I never lost a passenger. Glory, hallelujah. Glory to you, Lord. Hallelujah. Even when I was in the union, working as a spy, oh, Lord, even then you watched over me. Was the first woman to lead a military raid. 150 soldiers, 150 Black soldiers. Oh, Lord. Woo! We freed 700 slaves. 700 slaves together at the Combahee River raid. Oh, Lord, you've been so good. My whole life it's been a testimony, Lord. My whole life has been a testimony. When they tried not to give me my husband's pension, I sued the United States government. I couldn't read. I couldn't write. Oh, but glory, hallelujah, I won. Oh, yes, and I took what I learned and empowering myself for my rights, and I took it to other women. If my mother knew her first name and my husband's last name was infamous for women's suffrage, oh, she would have a chuckle. She would have a chuckle. Friend, I've been on this earth for 74 years. And you have been with me the entire time. Thank you, Lord, for taking care of good old Harriet Tubman. Thank you, Lord, for taking care of good old Harriet. Bless you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't even have to tell you who that was. But I'm going to, 1, 2, 3. Who was that? Right, right. Even if she hadn't told you, you still would have known that. So it is, thank you, Angela, for a fantastic job. Great interpretation. It was magnificent. Okay, next we're going to have have Roland Matthews, who has been accompanying Bernard Parker, who normally does the libation. Bernard's out of town. So he is going to do the libations and the drum tribute. So thank you. Go ahead, Roland Matthews.
Pay homage to the Creator known by many names. We've been acknowledged in prayer through the name of Allah. There's Yahweh, there's Olodumare, there's Jenyame. There's so many names for the great Creator, the immovable rock, that we can say from languages, ancient and present. But we always acknowledge the great Creator. And instead of saying Ashe, which means so shall it be, we all say yo. I pour libations, we say yo. There are many that we can pour libations to, and we can be here all day pouring libations. Just on the names of all the people in this room, we can be here all day. So we're gonna simplify it. We're gonna first pour libation to the mother of all, known as Dinknesh. Her bones were found, and she's been known to be 3.2 million years old, and her DNA is connected to all of our DNA. She's known as Dinknesh, but they reported her name as Lucy. So we pour libation in her honor, and everyone say Ashe. To the unknown name of the Father of all, we pour libation and we say Ashe. There are many heroes and sheroes of Black history. But before I name those ancient heroes and sheroes of Black history, I'd like to pour libation to an honorable sister who was a community leader and someone everybody could relate to in terms of our history here. You know her as Joanne Watson. She just recently passed. We say Ashe. I like to pour libation, and I just learned this today, to another community leader. We have one of our schools named after him. When the school started, it became a school of excellence. His name is Lonnie Bates. We pour libation in Lonnie's honor, and we say Ashe. To personalize this, I want each and every one of you to think about what has happened in the last 3 or 4 years. I was speaking to Irma, and there are so many people in my own personal circle that have perished relatives, friends, young people that I had the pleasure of mentoring that left here due to COVID or other reasons. But whatever reason, I believe the Creator has a designated time for all of us to leave here, just like we had a designated time to come. So I'd like for you to think of those names, of those people, and you don't have to say all of the names, but I'll start it off with my two cousins that recently passed, who were in my age group, and that would be James and Carolyn. I pour libation in their memory and say, Ashe. I need to hear the names of those who you have on your hearts and mind, and we'll pour a libation and say, Ashe. Shout out those names, please. Ashe. 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 As the room is in silence right now, I'm pretty sure that there were many people that didn't say anything but had somebody on their heart or mind that is not here with us today. So we pour a collective libation in their memory and we all say Ashe. Ashe. Asheo. Finally, for those children who are yet unborn, those who will carry our legacy long after we have left here, their blood will be the same as our blood. Their DNA will be the same as ours. Our memory will be in their DNA. For those who are yet unborn, who are yet to come and carry our memory, we pour a final libation and say, Asheo. 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 Okay, we're gonna need a napkin up here because pour a lot of libations and not a encapsulated thing. But I want you to remember this. No matter what happens from this point forward, we all need to be grateful that we're here to experience each other in this moment and in this time. Because any one of us can walk out that door and become an answer. So be grateful. And the way I want you to be grateful right now, as I want you to join me.
Thank you, Roland. Thank you so much for an outstanding drum tribute as well as our usual libations. So the last item on the agenda is a song by Marcus and Jonathan Adair. I affectionately call Jonathan J. Mitty, from Living Waters Church. At this time, J. Mitty and Marcus. Tanya, okay. Tanya Adair, the mom, is going to join us as well as Angela on this song. This is my favorite, by the way. I requested it.
God of Jacob, great I am, King of angels, Son of man, voice of many waters, song of heaven's throne, louder than the thunder, make your glory known. Let the light let the light Pride of Zion, prophets spoke, our Messiah, flesh and bone. You alone are worthy to open up the scrolls. The lion and you suffered, but the lion has a roar. Say, hear, hail, Lion of Judah. Oh, yeah. Lion roar. Prepare the way, prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way, prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way, prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way, prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way, prepare the Lord, prepare the way, prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way. Prepare the way of the Lord, all mountains. 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 Prepare the way of the Lord. Hail, hail, Lion of Everybody can just say that one time. Say, oh,
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marcus and Jonathan. And thank you to, stand up, Mom. Where did she go? This is Tanya Adair. Tanya is one of the executives over at United Way, and she's a marvelous, marvelous singer herself. And we're so happy that she came to support her sons. And I'm very proud of them. I thought they did an outstanding job, as all of you did. So Shannon, am I done? Okay. All right. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the program.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Clark Coleman, for another wonderful Black History Month program. And of course, I know you couldn't have done it without Shannon, so we thank Shannon as well for all the hard work that she put in. And to our guests, thank you all so much for, again, spending time with us during Black History Month. Of course, we want to always remember our past and forge for a brighter future for our children. So again, thank you for that presentation. It was awesome, and we look forward to probably having you do that again next year. So, all right, thank you so very much. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
We're on reports from committees. Report A is from the Committee on Audit. There's one item listed.
Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the report for approval.
Been moved by Commissioner Dobbs, supported by Commissioner Killeen. Any discussion on the audit report? Any discussion on the audit report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. And for those who are new on Zoom or in the audience, We have standing committees where we vet all the items in full discussion at the committee meetings, and then they come to here to full board for final disposition. Next item, please.
We are on Report B from the Committee on Government Operations. There are 4 items listed on pages 2 and 3 of the agenda.
Commissioner Clemente? Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the entire report for approval.
This motion by Commissioner Clemente, supported by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion on the government operations report? I'm sorry. Moved by Commissioner Clemente, supported by Commissioner Dodd. Any discussion on the report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Next item, please.
We are on Report C from the Committee on Economic Development. There are 2 items listed.
Commissioner Jesus.
Thank you, Madam the Chair, and I move to receive and file item 1 and approve item 2.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Jesus, supported by Commissioner Clemente. Any discussion on the economic development report? Hearing none, please vote. I'm sorry, Commissioner Garza.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I abstain from item number 1 in the report.
Duly noted.
Further discussion on the report? Please vote.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Garza as an abstention on item number 1.
Next item.
We are on Report D from the Committee on Public Services. There are 7 items listed on pages 4 and 5 of the agenda.
Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the report on public services for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Marecki, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun. Any discussion on public services? Commissioner Killeen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question both on item 3 and 6. The $30 million for the improvement to the Roos Valley system, does that include Ecorse Creek in any way?
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Cullen, Department of Public Services, Environmental Services Division Director. Commissioner, this notice of intent for bond issuance does not include anything related to Ecorse Creek.
Ecorse Creek is not part of the Roos Valley system.
No, we are spending separate ARPA authorized funding on an Ecorse Creek maintenance project. What's in front of you today is completely separate.
And I believe the ARPA funding's been approved by this body?
To my knowledge, I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Because again, we had another event a week ago down there, and my 18 years on the commission, every year it floods. Thank you very much. And on item number 6, the tree trimming, continued tree removal and tree trimming services. Is there like a schedule for this? We're going to be here, we're going to work this area, and then we're going to work this area so we know when it's coming? Or are we just everybody's just going to call in and fight over who's going to get the next tree trimmed? So is there a schedule that goes with this?
So good morning, Commissioners. Commissioner Killeen, with respect to your question, right now we're targeting all the bad removals. We're actually stationed right now in Redford Township. We're removing all the huge trees that been, we have a backlog of that. So basically our focus is with this company is to do the removals while our crews are still doing other tree work as well. So right now we're concentrating on the main emergency removals of trees that have to come down.
So we're working over in Redford for tree removal right now. Is that the only place we're going to remove trees?
No, but right now the focus is because we have so much backlog over there. That's where we're starting.
And I'll ask again, because I've made calls, I'm sure we've all made calls, and I got the nice tree-lined boulevards on the east side that need help. Is there going to be a schedule like we're going to be on the east side at this time? We're going to be in the northern part of the county. We're going to be downriver. Is that,
Yes, we will have scheduled for that, but right, like I said, you asked us where we were right now.
well, no, I asked
Particular-
for a sketch. So if you
Yeah,
could share
so
the
I
schedule
can
with
share
us?
that schedule, yes.
And is that just for tree removal?
Well, tree removal and some trimming as well, but right now, like I said, we're focusing on, with this company,
Yeah.
is on the tree removals.
I got you. Is there any planting going on of trees?
Not currently, maybe in the springtime, but not right now.
Because we used to have a grant for that. Do we still have a way to buy trees to
I'll have
plant?
to look into that, Commissioner. I don't have the
Yeah, I'd
answer.
appreciate on that too.
Okay.
These are the things that are right in people's front yards. And people take notice of it. So I'd like to be able, I don't mind telling people, hey, it's going to be 5 months till the county's over to this area of town. I don't mind telling people that at all. But I want to give folks some idea of when some relief may come.
Will do, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Name and title for the record, please, sir.
Steve Shea, Division Director of Wayne County Roads Division.
Thank you. Any additional questions on the report? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
We're on Report E from the Committee on Ways and Means. There are 17 items listed on pages 5 through 9 of the agenda.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Madam Chair, I wish to report out item 1 separately and request a roll call for that item. I request items 2 through 17 be approved at this time.
What's your first motion, sir?
First motion is items 2 through 17, move approval of the report.
2 through 17. Moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by somebody. Commissioner Baidoon, it went blank. Okay. Any discussion on items 2 through 17? Commissioner Khalid?
Chair. And I'd like to ask Chair Kinlock on item 17, sir. Do I understand it correctly that we're certifying about 36 million in revenue, and then we're reallocating roughly 38 million in the budget from one place to another now that we have this revenue in? Is that how I'm interpreting this item?
At this time, I would like, Madam Chair, to recognize Robert Whittigan, the Deputy CFO, who is on Zoom.
Mr. Whittaker, are you on Zoom? CFO? Deputy CFO?
Mr.
Someone in the
Wallace,
audience.
John Wallace, I see him present.
Oh,
Are you?
Mr. Wallace, okay.
I'm not the deputy CFO, but Darcel Brown from the Executive's Office Liaison. I believe Robert Whittigan is online. He might need, is he unmuted? Okay.
Bring him forward.
And just for the record, the committee had a lot of discussion in the committee regarding this item. And that's why I thought is important.
Our fiscal advisor's office, can you speak to it at all?
Terrence Adams, Chief Fiscal Advisor. Through the chair, yes, Commissioner Clean. We're certifying 36 million in additional tax revenue, and we're sending approximately 74 million through a reallocation of additional surplus funding in the general fund to various other funds throughout the county for debt service and future expenditures. And this is for this is for fiscal year 22-23 budget.
Madam Chair, if I can ask the fiscal advisor, is that 36 million that revenues were more than anticipated when the budget was passed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And Mr. Chair.
Mr. Whittigan, Zoom cut out twice. I am back. Do you want to say anything additional, Mr. Whittigan, if you can hear us or if you can come on?
Yes, I can hear you fine now. I apologize. The Zoom app restarted a couple times for me. Rob Whittigan, Chief Deputy Financial Officer, Wayne County. Good morning and thank you for your time. So I apologize, I missed what Terrence said, but what you have before you is a best practice that we've carried forward, as you may recall from past years. And the goal essentially is to ensure fiscal stability for future funding obligations with revenue and savings from fiscal year 23. And then they're being allocated to known future funding needs. Overall, this budget adjustment, what we're doing, it accounts for a unique combination of future expenses to the county, offset here today by one-time surpluses that have already been realized by the county, to allow Wayne County to ensure level funding for future years for known or estimated obligations such as debt funding or capital projects. Bottom line, we have, as we all know, we have foreseeable capital costs the county will incur in the future due to, for example, an array of buildings that reflect aging infrastructure. Moreover, we have historically low borrowing rates, which are disappearing. And so while the county's fiscal performance continues to improve and the nominal borrowing rate increases, we want to keep fund balances high to reduce reliance on borrowing. So in summary, it's a best practice to maintain adequate fund balance levels to mitigate current and future risks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank
You're
you. Thank you, sir. Any additional questions on items 2 through 17? Hearing none, please vote.
Carries.
Item number 1.
Yes, Madam Chair, before we vote on this item, first of all, I'd like to say the committee had extensive conversation and received testimony regarding this resolution. And we had an hour discussion as relates to this resolution. And at this time, for further clarity associated with this resolution, but more specifically the 2 bills and the impact on our communities, I would like to recognize Deb Pospish from the Detroit Water and Sewage Department, as well as Jackie from Senator Chang's office, if they please would come to this microphone.
Name for the record, please.
Turned it off. You turned it off.
Thank you. Jacqueline Ramsey from Senator Chang's office. I'm reading remarks on behalf of Senator Chang, as she couldn't be here today due to Senate session in Lansing. Thank you so much for your service on behalf of Wayne County residents. I am writing to urge you to pass Commissioner Kinlock's resolution supporting the statewide water affordability legislation. It has been an honor to work with my colleagues and stakeholders over the course of 8 months to develop groundbreaking, implementable, impactful legislation that will help many Michigan families with their financial stability, bring about greater stability for water providers, and enhance public health. We are surrounded by over 20% of the water's fresh water. Despite this, many Michigan families face water rates that are unaffordable. Over the past 40 years, residential water services rates in the state have increased by 188% when adjusted for inflation. Estimates show that almost 1 in 10 Michigan families struggle with their water bills that they cannot afford. This is not just an urban issue, it is an issue that impacts rural and suburban communities as well. In 2020, over 317,000 Michiganders were behind on their water bills in tiny villages in the UP and big cities and suburbs literally across the whole state. Our legislation would ensure that every low-income household in Michigan can receive a water bill they can afford. For those 200% over the federal poverty guidelines or below, they would have a water bill of 3% of their income. The bills would ensure that residents have their arrearages resolved and plumbing repairs taken care of to ensure that the water they pay for is getting to their tap. The bill set up a reasonable funding mechanism of a mere $2 per month. The bills also protect vulnerable residents from shutoff and institute reasonable notification procedures prior to shutoff, with the goal of getting people into the affordable program. Water affordability is a public health issue. Illnesses can spread when water shutoffs happen. Water affordability is a basic human services issue as well. We need to take care of all of our neighbors in Michigan who are struggling financially. We already pay a small monthly fee on our energy bills to fund the MEEP program to assist low-income households with their energy bills. MEEP was passed with bipartisan support in 2012. Michiganders have indicated that they are willing to pay a small $2 per month to help low-income families afford their water bills. It is important to point out that water providers often have to raise rates across the region when they need to cover bad debt, money that isn't being collected from people who have unaffordable bills. We currently have the RAP program to help residents across the GLEWA service area, but GLEWA does not have the funding necessary to continue the program as it is beyond 2 more years. We need to pass our state legislation so that the funds generated can ensure that the RAP program can continue to serve our residents here in Wayne County, as well as across the GLEWA service area. I am particularly concerned about seniors and people on disability that are on the RAPfinity program. If the legislature doesn't pass the bills, it is pretty certain that these seniors across the region will not get the help they need with their water bills. Michiganders support our proposal by a more than 2-to-1 basis. 67% support the affordability program, 60% support the funding mechanism, with only 31% opposing. 89% support the shutoff protection. This is not a partisan issue. I want to note that Mayor Duggan of Detroit, Mayor Hamad in Dearborn, Supervisor Graham Hudak in Canton, Mayor Coleman in Westland, Supervisor Abo in Northville, and Northville Mayor Turnbull have all indicated their support for the legislation, and we may be missing others. The statewide water providers, AWWA, supports the water affordability legislation. So does GLEWA, Wayne Metro, Michigan Community Action, United Way for Southeastern Michigan, and countless environmental and water advocacy organizations. The list of county and local leaders, faith leaders, and organizations who support the bills is growing every week. Thank you for your consideration, and I encourage you to vote yes on the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Excuse me. My name is Deborah Pospich. I'm Senior Advisor to Gary Brown, Director of the Detroit Water Department. And I've been working with the stakeholder group on this legislation. And I was one of the architects of Detroit's very successful Lifeline Plan. The need for a robust statewide water affordability program could not be more pressing. A recent Bridge Magazine article cites that Michigan's per capita income now ranks 39th in the United States. According to census data, 13.5% of Michiganders live at or below the poverty level. That's almost 500,000 households. In here in Wayne County, there were 6,000 requests for water payment assistance from households outside of Detroit. The RAP allocation was gone within 1 month, and only 1,000 households were helped. When COVID struck, we learned that many low-income families were living without water because they could not afford it. Tens of millions of LIHWAP and federal dollars paid down customer water arrearages. If RAP is sufficient, why were so many families living without water or in arrears? Here's why. The average customer contribution to RAP is about 10 cents a month. That is woefully inadequate. The state fee does 2 things. Protects public health because the customers can pay a bill they can afford and avoid water shutoff. Secondly, the customer's payment plus the affordability fund disbursements ensure that water providers don't pass bad debt onto other customers. and they will have the revenues they need to do required infrastructure and operational projects. This legislation does not prescribe free water. The enrolled customer must pay their part. They are not on the program indefinitely without oversight. They must go through an income verification process each year. They cannot waste water. They must stay within an allocated amount of water for basic needs. The $2 fee will not increase every year out of control. The legislation caps the fee at $3 a month if that's needed. This is common sense legislation that establishes a stable and reliable funding source to support a statewide program or local water affordability programs. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, I move approval. I move for the approval of item 1.
Been moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun. Discussion, Vice Chair Baydun. Vice Chair Baydun. Oh, okay, Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Commissioner Kinlock noted, we had a very lengthy discussion. We had a lot of people that also spoke to the committee that day. I've got a bunch of issues with this bill, but one of them that I think stood out at our discussion, that we were told the first year $60 million would be collected from this new additional fee on everybody's monthly water bill. But the interesting thing is 21% will be administration fee, which is $12.5 million out of the 60 just to run the program. So that's one of my biggest concerns about this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there anyone to talk to the cost of running the program? Just to clarify that?
I don't know if the young lady
No, you
just
may have
spoke.
discussed it, but I was just.
Ms. Ramsey, are you able to address that? We did have someone on who did discuss the
Administrative fee?
administrative fee,
That's what
yes.
you want.
That's what
I don't know if can you briefly discuss the administrative fee?
Yes, 3% of the fund goes for administrative costs.
3%?
Yes.
Which is approximately, do you know what that?
Well,
might
3%
of 60 million.
approximately 60 million. And then the actual administrative costs associated with the program are not to exceed 15%.
Commissioner Marecki?
Okay, you weren't the one that told us that, but someone told us a bunch of fees and it added up to 21%. So.
Okay, well, I'm reading directly from the legislation.
Okay, all right. So
I'm sorry about that
Yeah.
misunderstanding.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker McCormick?
So I just want to say that I believe that water is a right, a human right, and that we all should have access to it. So I am supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would commend efforts to do something about this issue. I do differ that it should not be something that's automatically placed on everyone's water bill. The Heat and Warmth Fund this morning, as I was listening to the radio coming in, is doing a fundraiser today. And I think this would be a better way to raise the money. And for that reason, another reason too, is that I don't believe for 1 minute that $2 will be the end cost 5 or 10 years from now. It'll be much more than that because there will be many reasons given for increasing that. And I would rather see this be a voluntary thing rather than being placed on the bill of seniors and others, all water users across the state. And we don't even know what the final bill looks like. Once it goes through committee, it could change drastically. I think this is premature to even take this step today. I've been in the legislature, as a number of others sitting here have, and until it comes up for a vote, until the vote is actually taken, we don't know what the final version of that bill will be, what the cost will wind up being. So for those reasons, and the fact that I do believe it should be a voluntary thing, that people could indicate to their water bill collector what they would like to give monthly, if they'd like to choose to make it a monthly charge or have a fundraising drive to raise the money. I'd prefer that. For that reason, I'll be voting no.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional discussion on the item? Additional discussion on the item? Okay. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Let's go now to the addenda, new business.
We are moving to the addenda under new business. There are 5 items listed. Item number 1 is a resolution requesting approval of the appointment of the Committee on Health and Human Services Chair, Commissioner Martha G. Scott, to the Health Choice of Michigan Board of Trustees.
Okay, is there a motion? Commissioner Scott. Okay, moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Clemente. This is per the, yeah, she moved. Can she not move it?
You can
Sure.
change it.
Yeah, thank you. Per the health choice articles, the chair of Health and Human Service is automatically on the Health Choice Board. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote. Commissioner
Motion
Dodd.
carries.
Thank you. Next item.
Item number 2 is requesting commission approval of a 27-month memorandum of understanding between the Charter County of Wayne and the Michigan Department of Attorney General in the amount of $7 million to assist the prosecutor's office in reducing its backlog of criminal gun cases.
Okay, who is here to speak to this? That be you, Tony? Come on up.
Morning, Tony Guerrero, Chief of Legislation, Grants, and Community Relations for Prosecutor Kim Worthy. This is in fact a 27-month memorandum of understanding between us and the Attorney General's office that provides $7 million strictly earmarked to fight gun cases. The term would be from October 1 of 2023 through December 31 of 2025. And you'll note that there's even a separate account that the funds will be deposited into so that they can only be used for fighting any cases involving the use of guns. Very important for all of us, for safety of all, especially. We've seen the number of homicides go down in the city of Detroit and are very happy about that, but we still have a long way to go to get guns off the street. And this will assist greatly with this amount of funds.
Absolutely. Thank you. Congratulations to the prosecutor's office for this MOU with the $7 million. It is going to make a tremendous difference.
Thank you very kindly. And you know, Kim Worthy chases down grants everywhere we can get them to try to keep from having to put an impact on the general fund.
We appreciate
I'm happy
her
to
for
answer
that.
any other questions.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Haydos. Any discussion on this item? Any discussion? Okay, please vote. Thank you, Tony.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
Item number 3 is requesting commission approval of amendment number 4 to a 2-year inmate telephone services contract with 1 2-year option to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and Telmate, not to exceed $504,600 for the purchase, implementation, and maintenance of tablets and phones for the JDF.
Okay, and this goes through January 24th, 2027. So of course, this would be including for the new criminal justice center as well. Aaron, go ahead.
Through the chair, you are correct, Chair. This is actually for the implementation of the technology in the JDF. When the CJC was initially designed and developed, there wasn't, it did not contemplate having tablet technology available to the juvenile youth that would be staying in the facility. We have learned as the county is rebuilding the JDF, that this is something that is a very useful tool for the residents. And we did an emergency purchase back for Division 3, where the current JDF is. What this contemplates in the request is to actually have the same technology installed into the JDF at the CJC. The county will carry the costs of it, which is different than what happens with the adult detention facility. So, and the funding from this is partially reimbursable through the child care fund.
Been moved by Commissioner Jesus. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Killeen. Discussion on this item, please. Any discussion on this item? Commissioner Mareki?
Thank you. I can't indicate. You just said that this is different funding in the adults. What could you refresh my memory in how the adult tablets are funded or?
So the adult contract, with the exception of indigents, which the county carries the cost of that, is a revenue contract. So we have it essentially is zero cost to the county. We actually make a small amount of revenue, although in the last amendment, we reduced the rates. So our revenue take on that has been brought down, but we also ensured that any telephone charges were the lowest that we could get. In this instance, because they are minors, the county carries the cost. And then
Okay, and you said the child care fund, that wouldn't be like 75%.
I believe it's 50%, but
50.
I'll have to go back and
Because I know
double
they
check.
changed some of the child care to 75%. Thank you.
For purchase, implementation, and maintenance of tablets and phones. Are these cell phones?
No, these would be
Landline?
landlines. So they're in the public facing areas. These would be the essentially what the new generation of coin operated telephones would be, except they're not coin operated.
Okay, and then the tablets, we've had, well, how have we had success with those tablets currently over in Division 3?
So the content, it's both educational and monitored entertainment. It's used as positive reinforcement. It really kind of gets the kids to focus on non-destructive behaviors, and it really, allows kids to be kids.
Any additional, Commissioner Killeen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just a couple of comments on this item. This is a 10-year contract with revenues of $11.5 million, which a quick over $1 million a year if you divide by 10 revenues for people making phone calls. I'll also point out, and this has always been an issue for me, but earlier in the meeting today, in the audit committee report, we approved the Auditor General's work plan for the year. And so the audit of this contract and the phone service will be something that will come to the commission later this year. So encourage everybody on the commission to take a look at that report and see how much money folks in our care are spending to call home. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional discussion on item number 3? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Next item.
Item number 4 is requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment number 5 to a contract with a 2-year option to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and Summit Food Services not to exceed $12,297,851.88, extending the term of the contract by 2 years and adding another 2-year option to renew to continue to provide food services.
Food service contract for the jail. Do you have any additional information? Name and title for the record.
Good morning, Vanita Terry, Director of Administration and Sheriff's Office. Commission, we bring before you today a contract with Summit Food Services for our adult and juvenile facility. And this amount will be $12,297,851.88. And it will stand for a 2-year term through 2026.
Moved by Commissioner Killeen, supported by Commissioner Baker McCormick. Discussion, Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a question. I see that this is a retroactive request for an amendment to a contract. When was this contract set to expire?
It actually expired on Sunday.
So it expired, so it's a retroactive. So let me ask you, so you are not going, you're exercising an option that's in the current contract and not choosing to go out for a bid?
We will go out for a bid after this contract expires.
You're talking about the two years?
Yes, yes.
So the purpose of the 2 years is to draft the RFP? That's the intent?
Yes, and to get us settled into the CJC with our move.
Okay, so that's, okay, thank you, yeah.
Thank you. Additional discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote. Kinlock.
Yeah, yes, there you go, right there. There it is.
Motion carries.
Next item, please.
Item number 5 is requesting commission approval of amendment number 1 to a 3-month comparable source contract with a 3-month option to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and the Detroit Association of Black Organizations not to exceed $92,925, exercising the option to renew to continue the management of hypertension among county residents in targeted communities.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Harold Nemo. I am the Deputy Director and Chief Health Equity Officer for the Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. And I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this contract for your approval. Through the chair to this honorable body, the Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services is requesting a 3-month extension to an existing contract between, which is also a comparable source contract, between Wayne County and the Detroit Association of Black Organizations. And the purpose of this project is DABLE has a innovative strategy that they have piloted in the past during the pandemic. And they are providing a community-based outreach strategy for hypertension screening. Raising awareness and education about hypertension, as well as linking Wayne County residents to care. There's a remote hypertension management service system that is attached to this, as well as they link them to a primary care team, which helps those with elevated hypertension, elevated blood pressure, track and to link them into care and treatment. This will begin February 1st and end April 30th. And just based on the 3-month pilot that started November 1st, Dabo has already screened, as of December 30th, Dabo has already screened 112 Wayne County residents. And as you know, preparing for this presentation today, I reached out to Dabo, and they have screened 150 residents. Of those residents, 53 are eligible to participate in the study. I mean, not in the study, in the program. And they enrolled 25 residents within the program, and they provided devices for them to start. Part of this project is also working with Dabo to link our residents to care once they are identified through the screening that they have hypertension or high blood pressure. And so today they have referred 64 residents to the federal qualified health centers, and our Wayne County Healthy Communities is one of those referral streams. Also, I want to note that they have referred them to specialists such as cardiology and nephrology and emergent care. About 4 of those have been referred to emergent care. And during one of the screening, they had to actually admit a person, an individual to the hospital because they had elevated high blood pressure, and that person was later then diagnosed with a new heart condition. So we see the progress of this, you know, in the very short time that they have done this work. And I just want to share a little bit of data for Wayne County as it relates to high blood pressure. We do know that almost 50% of adults in the United States have high blood pressure, and within 1 in 4 have uncontrolled high blood pressure. During the pandemic, we also saw that treatment and adherence to management worsened during that time. In Wayne County, based on our behavioral risk factor survey, it shows that 34% of adults between the ages of 18 to 65 said they had had high blood pressure at some point in their lives. And to compare this is about 23% in Washington County and 32% in Oakland County. And this conversation about working with the community and doing screenings and linking to care started actually during the pandemic when Dabo reached out, and during their work through COVID, they also identified that they were seeing the need for care to link their clients to care around hypertension. So they started to reach out to partners, and we were one of them. And we were thinking about the best way to interface. And I'm just so happy that even though we've had some leadership turnover, that we were still able to invite them as a partner to do this work. So I just want to stop there. And this actually will be funded through general fund that used to be the ARPA funding, but it's post-ARPA, we're calling it for the purpose of this presentation. I do want to note what the funding is being paid for. It's being paid for community health workers that will that are at community events, that also do community canvassing. These community health workers actually screen Wayne County residents and link them to care, provide them with blood pressure cuffs, as well as work with partners. Once that's done, they invite those who are eligible to enroll in the study. And then they link them to the primary care team that actually gives each of those who are enrolled a blood pressure cuff and then a remote monitoring system. And then the care team that has a family nurse practitioner along with other providers within Dabo affiliated health center actually tracks and educate these participants over time and link them to care if they do not have a primary care provider. So I will stop there, and if there's any questions, I'm open to answer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that information. It's been moved by Commissioner Kinlock and supported by Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman. Discussion, Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm wondering, I looked through the information that we were given, the background information, and I noticed who the people were in the core group that starts off monitoring. But at some point, are the people that are diagnosed with high blood pressure, do they get to see a registered dietitian at some point in the health team? You mentioned a nurse, but how about a registered dietitian?
You know, I can confirm that. I do know that there's a community health worker that, and a social determinants of health assessment is provided, which links them to behavioral health services and that. So I'm wondering, I can confirm as well. But however, we have Bill Coleman, who is the Chief Financial Officer. And if Bill, do you want to just confirm that?
Morning.
Morning.
In answer to your question, no, at this point, we haven't been referring anyone to a registered dietitian, but our family nurse practitioner provides nutrition guidance as a standard part of her interaction with anyone who is diagnosed with high blood pressure.
Okay, I'm just putting my 2 cents here. You really should think about a registered dietitian as well. I mean, nurses are great and, provide sheets or whatever, but registered dietitians can really help in some of these areas. Sometimes they can't, sometimes this is a hereditary, high blood pressure is hereditary and there's really nothing that can happen except for pills or whatever, but it might be something that you think about. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote. Thank you so much.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Want to go back to the agenda?
Sure. We're going back to page 9 of the agenda, upcoming meetings.
Okay, please note the upcoming meetings for next week, as well as a committee of the whole on Thursday at 10 a.m. So please note all of the meetings for next week, and if there are any changes, please let the clerk know. Next item.
We're moving to testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 3 listed on the agenda and 1 on the addenda.
Okay, please note, someone that we are all very familiar with, Mr. Gil Flowers in the clerk's office, is going to be retiring after, I think, 31 years of service to Wayne County. So we want to wish him well and thank him for his service at Wayne County. So I think we have something forthcoming for him. Any additional comments on the testimony resolutions?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Mr. Kinlock?
Yes, Madam Chair, just wanted to say some words on behalf of the late Lonnie Bates.
We're not there yet.
We're not.
We're on testimonial and certificates
ahead,
of
I'll wait.
appreciation. But your brother is on here for Reverend Solomon Kinlock.
Absolutely.
You want to speak to your brother? You want to speak to your brother?
Yeah, 2 seconds. Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Baker McCormick.
And Reverend Solomon Kinlock of Triumph Church was receiving the Human Touch Award. So we want to congratulate your family and Reverend Kinlock. Any other discussion on testimony, resolutions, certificates of appreciation? Hearing none, please vote.
Commissioner Kinlock. Motion carries.
Okay. All right, next item, please.
We're on memoriams. There is 1 name listed on the agenda and 2 on the addenda.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to say a few words, as I said, as it relates to the late Councilman Lonnie Bates, late Detroit Board of Education member Lonnie Bates. Oftentimes we get into public office and we want to make a difference. We want to leave an impact, especially on the future lives of young people. And Lonnie Bates was one of the first board members elected citywide. He was a proud resident of the east side of Detroit, and somebody who served as a mentor and worked very closely with the young Black men in the Detroit Public Schools during out his tenure on the Board of Education. He later in life was hit with troubles, but at the end of the day, you cannot forget the work and the dedication and the historical change that Lonnie Bates fought for and what Bates Academy had brought forth over the years. And so with that, I wanted to just send my condolences to his family and to the community at large. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional comments on memoriams? We echo your sentiments of Alonzo Bates. My children attended Bates Academy along with other children, Pam's son. A great school of excellence named after him. So we will certainly give our condolences to his family. And then Bill Lattimore, so many of you may remember, worked in the McNamara administration, if I'm not mistaken, and also was the husband of a former Commissioner Janet Jackson, who is now Southfield City Clerk Janet Jackson. That was her husband. So we want to keep her and her family lifted in prayer in the loss of Bill Lattimore. Commissioner Garza?
Madam Chair, and just in the spirit of memoriams, just wanted to also keep in the memory of former Commissioner Boyke's son, Todd Boyke, who passed this past week as well.
Oh no.
As well.
Yeah, it was the one who was, right. Right. Oh my goodness. Thank you for, no, I didn't know that. Thank you so much for letting us know that. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to add the name of Carol Rosati, who passed away just last week. She was really active in the Junior Miss program in very early days, and she passed away. And actually, her husband had just passed away, Tony, just last year. And but anyway, just ask everyone to keep her family in their prayers.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll do so. Everyone could please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you so much. Next item, please.
Public comments.
Let's start in the chambers. If there's anyone in the chambers who would like to give public comments, you have 2 minutes to the podium, please. I think our clerk has cards.
Alan Cox.
Morning, Madam Chair, illustrious commissioners. My name is Alan Cox. I'm the president of Wayne County Deputy Sheriff's Association. We stand before you again, as we did before when you granted the illustrious raises that helped to raise up our agency. We thank you again. We're here today, though, to bring the alarm about an upcoming issue that's not before you, but we plan to be here every day when it comes. It's about security guards being brought in to sublet deputy jobs. We're in opposition of it. Since the raises have been.
Why can't I?
Please mute everybody on Zoom.
Nope, that's right now.
Apologize.
That's okay. It's about, again, security guards being brought in to take deputy jobs at the courts. We're in opposition to it. We believe the raises are working. We've seen increases in the numbers of the jailers training classes from 4 and 5 to 20 to 24. We believe that over the time span of the raises being given
Capatina.
Great, thank you. Good morning, Commissioners and Madam Chair. My name is Lisa, and I'm a resident of Wayne County. Today, I come to echo the concerns brought forth by members of your commission on January 4th regarding the replacement of Commissioner Basham. As noted in the Wayne County Charter dated January 1st, 2015, Article 3, if a commissioner vacancy occurs in the even year of a two-year term, a vacancy is to be filled by an appointee to serve out the unexpired term. However, if a vacancy occurs in an odd year, the appointee serves until a special election is held. It appears that even though Commissioner Basham's retirement was announced in an odd year, i.e. December 2023, a decision was rendered to defer to an appointee only and not a special election. In addition, was stated by Commissioner Killeen, even though the commission may not have a written directive for an appointee, there is clearly a long-standing history of honoring the past practice where an outgoing commissioner, and that would have been Basham, is the one who gets to appoint from within their district to succeed them. This also did not occur. So on January 4th, with only 14 out of 15 commissioners able to vote, Commissioners Baidoon, Haydes, Killeen, and even Chair Bell abstaining, Commissioner Kniezek absent, and Commissioner Basic McCormick stating that she was looking for more transparency, I'm perplexed as to how the remaining commissioners supported any appointee at that time to fill a vacancy that would represent an entire district. With all due respect to Commissioner Garza, this is not intended to be disrespectful to you. This is about integrity in a vacancy process and the representation for an entire district. For the record, I am grateful to those who did ask for clarification and the codification of a transparent process on how vacancies should be filled. In November 2024, your terms will no longer be 2 years, but they will be 4 years. So in my opinion, it would behoove all of us to have clarity and confidence in how, when, and who gets to fill vacancies. I thank you in advance for your consideration and your service in promptly bringing a resolution to this matter in our Wayne County Charter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for coming. Any additional public comments in the chambers? Any additional public comments in the chambers? Any public comments on Zoom? On the telephone? Emails?
No emails were received.
And public comments? Any public comments? All right, thank you. Next item?
Reconsiderations.
There are none.
Remarks by members.
All right, let me first acknowledge a few birthdays in the month of February. We have Commissioner Glenn Anderson on February 8th. Happy early birthday. We have Commissioner Garza on February 13th. Happy early birthday to you, sir. And we have yours truly on February 21st. May all of us have a wonderful February birthday month. Also, I'd like to acknowledge that our next meeting will be on February 15th, and I'm going to request that everyone wears red. As you know, February is Heart Month, and we would want to possibly have a picture taken at that time to acknowledge Heart Month in the month of February. Actual Go Wear Red Day is tomorrow nationally, but on our 15th meeting, we'll all wear red to acknowledge that. Additional remarks by members? Vice Chair Pro Tem Palomero.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank and congratulate Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman on putting together another outstanding Black History Month presentation.
Absolutely.
And I have to say that my favorite part of it was the last song performed by the Adair family. And in particular, one line that they sang that said, "Hear the lions roar."
Yes.
Thank you very much, Irma.
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner. I was one who was picked up on that. Very good. Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to echo what my colleague just mentioned. Job well done, Commissioner Clark Coleman. I would like, for the record, my remarks to be made as part of this permanent record, Madam Chair. You know, since this is the first day of Black History Month, I couldn't help but think about what some of the most prominent Black civil rights leader in America would say about the current genocide that has been taking place for over 3 months in Gaza. I am sure Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would have called for a ceasefire because he truly believed that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. It is essential to reflect not only on our shared history, but also on the global struggles for justice and equality. Recently, South Africa, which has risen as a beacon of justice on the world stage, took a bold step by addressing the International Court of Justice on the Israeli war crimes in Gaza as the genocide continues to take place. South Africa's own history of living under apartheid is a reminder to us all on the importance of dismantling systemic oppression and reinforcing our commitment to justice and equality during Black History Month. This action that was taken by South Africa to hold Israel accountable for its war crimes resonates deeply with the principles of the champion of justice, Nelson Mandela, who once stated, "We know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians." As we commemorate Black History Month, let us recognize the interconnection of our struggles and stand united in the pursuit of justice, echoing Mandela's call for a world where all nations enjoy the right to freedom. Lastly, Madam Chair, since President Biden will be in Michigan today, and since thousands of Arab Americans live in Wayne County and have been impacted by this genocidal war, I would like to renew my call on the Biden administration to call for an immediate ceasefire. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional remarks by members? Commissioner Kniezek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also wanted to join the Irma Clark Coleman fan club. We were coming down on the elevator and I told the commissioner that this meeting is one of my favorite meetings every year because of the great program that she does. I meant that. And so I just wanted to give her a big shout out. And again, to Marcus, Jonathan, Angela, and Roland, thank you for your contributions today here as well. Because it was brought up, not because I'm trying to beat up on you. I think it's great that you come and you comment on it. I didn't vote on our appointment here. I was in Ireland. I did receive a call from Commissioner Basham asking me to log into the meeting to vote from Ireland. And I had to inform him that we can't do that anymore. So, but that being said, I would have voted for Commissioner Garza and have been proud to do it. So even though I couldn't, I'm happy to put it on the record to let folks know where I would have stood on that. And then just lastly, Madam Chair, I know he took off. And so hopefully somebody will just maybe pass it on to him. But yesterday, Director Kandrivas and a number of DPS staff came to Dearborn Heights to meet with us, with our city council, our administration, and our Ecorse Creek Commission about that $10 million investment that was referenced earlier today. And so just a really great meeting. It's going to be a big project, a good start, and just wanted to give a thank you to Director Kandrivas and his team for coming to my community and helping us kick that off yesterday. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I want to also commend Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman. Last year, she loaned me some African garb, and this year I stayed on my head to make sure I got my own because she was going to let me use it no more this year. But it was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right. Any additional remarks by members? Commissioner Scott, yes, with the board. Then I'll put you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too want to congratulate
Commissioner Clark Coleman and her staff for doing such a great job. It was just wonderful. And I want to thank all of those that came before me that allowed me to be where I am today. Because we have come a long ways, but we have a long ways to go. So I want to thank all of my four parents and all of those. I'll never forget, I'm here today because of Jackie Curry letting me know that this position was open. And I got appointed that day over 13 white males. So I know I've come a long ways. So I just want to thank all of my ancestors and all of those who have made it possible for me to be here today. So thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you. Commissioner Baydun.
Madam Chair, I would be remiss if I didn't mention on the record that Commissioner Kinlock, you look great with this outfit, and it reminds me of the great movie, one of my favorites, Coming to America. You fit perfectly for that role.
Well, the chair beat you at that by text.
I texted him already this morning, King Jaffer. So, any additional remarks by members? Hearing none.